Hey there everybody, Kopika here. Welcome back to more Kingdom Hearts 2. In the last episode, we went back to Hollow Bastion to go see what was up with the Final Fantasy crew. Ended up running into Cloud. He was talking about Sephiroth for whatever reason. Then we end up catching up with Leon. Also ran into Tifa. They don't really tell you her name yet, but they will eventually. But we also made it into Tron's world, which is not only going by the movie, but also has a connection towards the series itself. And it kind of ends up connected to the plot of Kingdom Hearts 2 as a whole, which is really good, and it's one of my main things that I wish the other worlds kind of did. You mean the door thing you're blocking the exit is locked, right? In that case, shouldn't your Keyblade be able to open it? Yeah, no duh. Anyways, hit this door a couple of times, get a bunch of clusters, end up pressing the triangle button, and kabushki, you're done. Easiest minigame in the universe.
Master Control, why not just derez Tron?
I still haven't located the password to the data space.
What about a logic probe? With all your processing power?
Out of the question. The current environment hampers the processing power needed for such an analysis. You're dismissed, Sark. Stop any remaining anomalies in the system, or else. End of line.
Acknowledged.
Well, boy, howdy, that was easy. Seriously, that's actually remarkable. It seems you have some unique functions. Yeah, it's called whacking things with my Keyblade until things go, until things open. Such a unique function. My God, oh, man. Anyways, we don't really need to do anything, because as of right now, if you look at Tron, he has jack all. My nose is still itching at this point. So let's open this chest. We won't get a map. I'm lying. We will get a map. Okay. I'm going to say this now. What's the point of the map? What is the point of the map? I'm so glad that future Kingdom Hearts games, they do away with that. I don't think they do that in 3. I think they still do the same thing where they do give you the map inside a treasure chest and just doesn't just give you the map. But whatever. Like, the map is not really useful, in my honest opinion. Like, it's a block, or it's a square with a bunch of pathways, which I don't even think it's really truly necessary to have anyways. Heck, you can't even, press anything to enlarge the map anyway. So it's like, what's the point? I find maps, and I'm like glad that with Kingdom Hearts 1, there's no map, because you don't need it. Like, I don't think Kingdom Hearts actually needed a map.
This is the energy core.
Alright, so Tron's World loves to go ahead and do a lot of mini games, and they can revolve around simple memory puzzles, fighting, the works. Anywho, to be able to actually complete this very super quickly, just go ahead and go into your drive form, and you're done. Yeah, it's really, really hilarious. If you don't do that, what you have to do is you have to go ahead, you have to collect the clusters to be able to stop, like, the timer so it can freeze and stuff. So that way you have the capabilities of getting the cube. Because if the time runs out, you essentially lose. And you don't want that. I think you just get de-rezzed. I think during that is happening. I think. I don't know. I don't really know. Oh, sweet, we can get out now. Mission accomplished. Yes. Now, will you do something for me? You got it. Don't you want to hear what it is first? You helped us, now it's our turn. You guys really are users. Your actions are totally illogical. Yeah, meaning y'all don't think. It's like, what the... He could have said anything. He could have just said, I want you to jump off this area and just die. Or shoot me in the head with your keyblade. You guys need to wait for him to say something first before you be like, nah, we're gonna help you now. It's like, alright, y'all dumb. It's like, it's all I gotta say. Mugo's selling some new stuff. He got himself Aegis saying Aegis. Okay. Aegis. Is it Aegis? No, it's not Aegis. It's Aegis. Is that an R? Is it Regis? I can't even tell. It looks like an R. Actually, what are R's? No, there's an R. Okay, I guess it's Aegis. Whatever. Anyways, he got a new chain. He has Aquamarine and he has a Platinum Ring. Not really useful items, but if, you know, you're not going with a playthrough of actually going out of your way to synthesize everything, I say it's recommended to actually get it. We end up getting some good boost trinkets for ourselves. Thunder Trinket is going to be pretty useful for this area, mainly because of the fact that most of the enemy types that we'll be fighting will be electrical based. I should also probably go into detail as the enemies that we fought in the last episode, because I actually did not go into detail, because I actually did not know that we were going to get into this area so quickly. Anyways, let us look at the nobodies. Apparently we had, yes, the Berserkers. A Berserker, a high-ranking nobody. Its attacks are hard to read as it is dragged around by a cursed hammer. Even though it kind of looks more Claymore, but whatever. Attacks from the front will only be parried by its hammer. Knock it down to make it let go of the hammer, then pick it up. Then pick up the hammer to unleash a flurry of attacks with Berserk. Anyways, and the Heartless. We got the Bookmaster. A great mage who can handle all three types of elemental magic. It bears a striking resemblance to Red Nocturnes, Blue Rhapsodies, and Yellow Operas. Oh, so they are referenced in this game. Huh. That's actually kind of cute. I didn't know that they were actually referenced in this game. When changing stance for the use of each type of magic, it is immune to all magic and should be defeated immediately. So that's I guess that kind of is the reason as to why Red Nocturne, the red, blue, and yellow little mini spell dudes are not in this game, is because the Bookmaster, he does end up covering all three bases, because you've seen him use fire and you've seen him use ice. We never got him to use thunder, but he does have a thunder magic spell as well, so I guess it makes more sense to just combine them all three of them together rather than creating two different types of enemies like in KH1, where you had the wizards, which essentially was all three of them anyways, and then the three of them which were just separate. So it's like, I mean, mind you, you know, higher ranking enemies, they had to make them a little bit stronger regardless. Morning Stars. When its HP gets low, it unleashes its press button. Press attack. Okay. Use bump and meteor spike for counterattack combo. Meteor spike can be done in succession, so make sure to grab surrounding enemies as well. That's pretty much... No, we still got more enemies. Shaman. Ah, yes. We didn't really go into detail of this last Pride Rock enemy. It attacks from afar and moves around very little. It is very magic resistant and nullifies all attacks while taking on its mass form. The Cursed Flame is occasionally unleashed, firmly chases its target, but it can be used advantageously with reaction commands. Can it? Anyways, Tornado Step. It attacks as it moves, so once it starts spinning, stop its movement and with reaction command. Use Tornado Ride to grab the enemy for a free ride while attacking surrounding enemies. Armor Knight. It charges its target to in a group. Use the reaction command Rising Sun when it jumps into the sky. When it jumps into the sky as it is about to unleash a tackle attack. Tackling attack, not tackle attack, jeez. Using Rising Sun in succession for various combos. Surveillance Robot. Use reaction command Snag, then Sparkle Ray to attack surrounding enemies with a laser. Keep an eye out for opportunities to use reaction commands even if the laser attack is parried. And I think that should be it. Obviously, they're not going to show Scar, because Scar is not a Heartless. He is a Disney villain incarnate. Anyways, let's get out of here.
So, what did you want us to do?
Find my user. He'll give you the password to access the DTD.
You're back! So,
DTD is the name my user gave to the data space. Copies of all the original system programs are stored there, along with anything that's sensitive or restricted.
Is there stuff about the Heartless or Organization 13?
Most likely. A number of my functions were appropriated when I last took on the MCP. That's why I need the password. If I can get inside the DTD, I can access my original backup program and restore all my functions. Then I'll be able to put this system back the way it was before the MCP got control and changed everything. The way it was supposed to be. A free system for you, the users.
Gee, Tron, ain't the MCP one of those programs too? Do you know who it was who made it?
Actually, I don't know.
Okay, we'll just have to find your user and ask him. What's his name?
You mean you don't know? My user is the user of this system. Ansem the Wise.
Ansem?
Looks like the MCP's onto us. I'll keep this terminal up and running. You better exit the system now.
Sure, but Tron, Ansem is...
We're looking at password.
Okay, you're good to go. Hurry!
It's actually interesting that they don't end up like going with the. Oh, actually, look at them jumping out. We did it! Yeah! Where have you been? Dude, it was amazing. We became microchips. It was awesome. There's a world inside this computer where these programs live and blah, 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 blah. So in the other world, Ansem research data is off limits unless we know the password. I think that's right. But you've already defeated Ansem. Gosh, maybe we'll never find the password. That means this is all a wild goose chase. We're chasing what now? Okay, that's not what she said, but it's like, we're chasing what? It's like, alright. Well, a hidden room. Guess I better take another look around. You know, Tifa, you can just say that you're looking for Cloud. I mean, to be honest, why... I love that Yuffie and Sid don't even say anything either. She just won't give up. And neither will we. Come on, we gotta look for that password. Right, we made a promise to Tron.
Excuse me?
This thing has a lot more plot significance than it did when this first came out. And I don't mean because of Birth by Sleep. I mean in another future Kingdom Hearts game that's about to come out. This has such a major plot that I'm not going to even bother to even mention it. Also, I noticed it says... It says Tron Door to Darkness. Because you can actually see the T there, but they don't really point that out. That's kind of interesting.
What's this doodle?
Hello? Main. Security. Tron. Door to.
Looks like a diagram or something.
Door to darkness.
Oh! D, T, D.
DTD!
What's up?
Look at this. This must be the data space. The DTD. See? The door to darkness.
What do you know? But that still leaves the password.
Say, fellas, did somebody mention the door to darkness?
Your Majesty! Long time no see.
Shh. The organization might be listening. You mentioned the door to darkness?
Yes, sir. You see, we're looking for the secret password.
Password? Oh, I guess you mean like a code. Well, the door to darkness can only be opened by the 7 princesses. There's Snow White, Jasmine, and Belle.
Of course.
What are you trying to do?
With that password, we can get access to Ansem's research data.
So that means you might be able to find out where he is.
Stop joking around, Your Majesty. We already defeated Ansem. You know that.
Looks like I've got a lot of explaining to do.
You're listening, Your Majesty.
Okay, but first I've got a question.
Hey, isn't Tron waiting for you guys?
Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. If those Heartless attack, I'll stand and fight with everybody here.
Yeah, we will too.
Then let's talk more later.
That's a promise.
I'll see you when you get back.
Okay, so they actually did mention Tron. I'm a stupid. I also forgot about that cutscene because of the fact that that's just how I roll. Anyways, Mickey is back. He's going to go ahead and give us some new duds. And by new, I mean he's going to give us a form I like to believe that is kind of sacrificing Mickey. Except he's not a party member, so no dice. He ends up giving us Master Form, which was a form that a lot of people who grew up with Kingdom Hearts 2 didn't really know if it was a good ability or not. Also, after you've completed that, you end up getting yourself the ukulele. Now, we do have an indication as to how Stitch is here. If you have played Birth by Sleep, or remember our journey through deep space, Stitch was part of that. And after the ending with Ventus, he essentially got skyrocketed into this world. And that's kind of how he ended up showing up here. There is a reason as to why he's here. It's not because of, you know, stupidness or anything. No, he's actually here. Now, the reason as to why we're coming back to Christmas Town. One thing. Master Form levels up through Drive Forms. Your best bet is to essentially have these enemies around. Spin this. Collect all the wonderful, lovely little orbs that you can, and you can level up the form fairly easy. This is the best method of leveling up. So for now, anyways, there is a better method, but as of right now, that is actually your best method. You cannot use drive. You cannot use drive recoveries to level up the move, so don't just assume like, oh, I could just use my drive recovery and then I'll have myself a good old level. That doesn't work that way. You wish it worked that way. Trust me, I wish it worked that way. Anyways, the growth ability for Master Form is aerial dodge. Aerial dodge allows you to kind of essentially get a double jump. It's pretty neat. It's pretty useful, and it's actually quite nice. We'll be doing this for a couple of times. You can repeat this as much as you can until you've reached the maximum level. And considering the fact that we have ourselves a drive form that can be able to be easily leveled here, we're actually going to do that. So I'm actually going to cut, and I will see you guys back to when this thing is actually maxed out. All right, and we are now halfway there to maxing out Master Form. There is one more spot that we can go to that will be able to guarantee us to be able to completely get to level 7. Now, here's the thing. I do not take credit for any of these leveling spots. These spots I end up finding out by speedrunners themselves, or for some other or other Kingdom Hearts 2 aficionados who end up finding out the tricks of the trade of these things. There are plenty of videos out there that basically shows you the best place to level up each and every single form. Valor form, the best place is Agrabah. There's a specific Heartless that's in the treasure chamber that we can get to and be able to go ahead and level this form up. Wisdom form, my opinion, I think the best is Timeless River, because you can continuously keep going in and out in the area. I don't know what's the true place to level up Wisdom form, but that's personally my favorite place to level it up. Limit form, it's the same exact area for Valor. Master early is here in Halloween Town, but if you don't want to go to Christmas Town, you can wait later on to fight a specific enemy that you can utilize one Keyblade that you get for completing 100 Acre Woods, and it gives you the ability Drive Converter. I will go into Drive Converter. I don't really need to go into detail. I can just tell you guys now. Drive Converter is essentially an ability that converts money into drive orbs. It's the best in the way how those enemies are is that they have a mini game that you play, and if you complete it, they will give you money, but if you have the Drive Converter, they give you drive orbs instead. That is your best place to end up leveling up Master Form as well, in case you do not want to go ahead and level it up for if you don't want to level it up here. Summons is you just try to use them as much as you can. All right, so the abilities that we've learned: Auto Master, Aerial Dodge. This is essentially the reason as to why I said you won't need High Jump, because Aerial Dodge is essentially a double jump, so you don't really need it. As you notice here, we also have Air Combo Plus. Master Form is a very air combo oriented. Let's actually go into detail with Master Form. Master Form is essentially an ability, is a form that Sora can take on that gives him a lot of aerial combat abilities. This is the reason as to why Aerial Dodge is your growth ability. It essentially gives you a lot of airtime, but the best thing about Master Form is its endless magic. Endless magic allows you to keep casting spells as much as you can without an ending finishing combo. The reason as to why this is such a good idea, and the reason why it's so good, is because you can essentially just keep doing this without the need of stopping at all. So, say if I also want to like utilize fire as well, you can just keep utilizing without a combo finisher ever activating. Now let me showcase what happens when you end up using thunder, because I actually can't showcase it here unless I end up actually equipping. That is Reflect. All right, and this is what happens when you use thunder. You essentially end up going around. It doesn't seem as useful now, mainly because we're not fighting enemies, so it's gonna be the animation's a bit different, but trust me, it's actually really good. The way how Reflect works is that you you move just a bit. This is pretty useful for, you can keep spamming this as much as you can. Magnet, I think you can also keep doing the same thing. Obviously, I don't really recommend it, but yeah, you have an endless amount of abilities to using spells without the need of having to worry about a spell finisher, is what I'll call it. And it ends up having a gravity-based finisher, which is pretty neat. A lot of people thought that Master Form was kind of lame because of the fact that it didn't really have much combo potential. But the focus is not much of its combo potential. The focus is to be able to connect both magic attacks, combo finishers in conjunction with utilizing Magnet and a bunch of other means. You're essentially combining both Wisdom and Valor. You have the two Keyblades from Valor, and you have the endless magic from Wisdom. So you essentially have to balance the both of them. You have a physical attacker and a magic attacker as well. That's kind of the reason as to why I think if we look at the stats for it, obviously the strength is still lower, but it's kind of the reason as to why magic is just a little bit higher. Don't know why it's higher on Valor form. That doesn't make any sense. But then again, I think it's going by the Keyblades that I have equipped. That's why. But yeah, like you have to remember in that perspective, and that's kind of the thing. Like it feels like a form that doesn't do much of anything, but if utilized correctly, it can really do a lot of damage. It's similar to the whole Valiform thing where people thought that Valiform was the best thing ever when Kingdom Hearts 2 first came out. Personally, I didn't really care much about any of the forms. I did thought Valiform was cool, but then after playing through the final mix on an emulator before when it was never being released, I have a much appreciation for Wisdom. I have a much appreciation. Well, Master I still didn't have much appreciation with until I watched speedrunners utilize it. And then there's one more form that we haven't gotten yet. Off screen, I'm going to level up Valor and Wisdom. I already told you where you can level up these forms a lot more effectively. So, you know, and Limit, I'm not going to level up yet until certain things happened. So, yeah. I'm actually going to end the episode here because I think it has been a time, and I just wanted to explain how Master Form was because there are some people that kind of feels that Master Form doesn't do a whole lot, and I kind of want to, you know, explain that it does a lot. You just have to utilize it correctly, unfortunately. This goes for Wisdom, Limit, and the last form as well. Like, you can't just assume that it's gonna do what it wants to do. No, you have to make it work for it to be able to be utilized. In fact, I think what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do another cut. Well, actually, no, I'm not gonna do another cut. I'm actually gonna speed through this. So I will see you guys in the next episode of Kingdom Hearts 2 for when we end up going back into Tron's world. For right now, I'm going to showcase this, and showcase the last battle, and you guys will see what the prize is. So, enjoy.
We did it!